me, Aki. Give me your review of what you thought of it all. Get on a voice note and tell me the juicy bits of what you think. To me, the whole thing was a complete bakwas. What can we do? Listen, what did I tell you yesterday? I said to you, this guy, he's only coming on there basically just to get that thing removed. How you titled it and what happened is not what he wanted. You cornered him and started asking about all these names, and the only reason you asked those names is basically to get his stance on them. Are they good, bad? What's your position on them? That's why you asked those names. I don't know them. I'm not sure. Haven't seen him for 5 years. I wasn't around. Man's not on road. Habitual liar. Basically, I can rip this guy to pieces on every single point that he made last night. I don't know where to begin from, but every single piece, I can tear him apart. Honestly, it'd be like putting a rat in a cage without any cheese.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. To be honest, yeah, he was acting really shady. It was almost like a no-comment interview. He said with you, he didn't even address the issues apart from that you give ignorance for ta'wil, and this is why he made takfir. But then he saw you made a video saying you don't give excuse for ignorance of ta'wil, then there's no problem, he'll delete that video that he made. He said, the refutation that you made, I was asking him, why did they refute you? What happened between you? He was like, I don't know. I was in jail at the time. I don't even understand. And everything else was just like no comment answers. And you know, all the other little guys, you know, the young guys that follow us and that, they were just excited that Abu Halima was here, and they just kept talking, not letting me get to the bottom of it. He accidentally mentioned the 4-letter word, which he's not allowed to mention, and then he was like, can you delete it, please? So I put it on him, what you said about going to court. I mentioned that Dr. Farhan, he was like, I don't know who you're on about, that guy has nothing to do with me. And he says that basically whatever was written on the paperwork, they lied to me, and I went court to clear my name. And yeah, he just covered it all up. I didn't believe it. I think the truth is he was more interested in getting that video taken down, because that's all he keeps going on about in messages.
Yeah, the reason why I deleted them is I don't want any legal implications of them being mentioned. There's so much ambiguity in regards to the law of this disclosure of how much you're supposed to mention in public, and obviously if it's there, isn't it, then it could cause harm. So if there's anything doubtful in terms of what's there, what's being mentioned, the legality of mentioning it, it's best to not have it out, you know what I mean, or sitting on a phone. Yeah, I listened to it, yeah. I listened to the whole thing. You mentioned to me any point that he made, and I'll tell you every single lie that he told you, basically. Look, you know my original video, yeah, the refutation. This issue about takfir being upon the mushrikeen if it's from Asluddin, I said, yeah, it is from Asluddin. It's from Asuluddin. However, it's not restricted and limited to being that in itself, just the asl in itself. It's part and parcel of other things as well. Okay, so why do you want to present Asluddin as just being takfir upon the mushrikeen? Why not talk about al-wala wal-bara? Why not talk about the issue of rejecting taghut and the different types of tawaheet and how to believe in Allah? What about commanding good, forbidding evil? Is that not also part of Asluddin? And the first people to talk about the term Asluddin were who? Were the Mu'tazila. So this is not being something being mentioned by the Sahaba where they used to use the term Asluddin. Do you make Asluddin? Do you understand what's Asluddin? They took the entire deen. I've already made notes. Aki, I've already made draft notes, yeah, on every single point that he made, yeah, on how I can hammer him. I can list them for you. I've got them saved. I can tear this guy apart without eating any salt. Just on what he done last night, it's his janazah. Believe me, he's absolutely buried with all of the lies that he told.
Well, you heard it with your own ears, Akhi. He was saying it's all nonsense. I never gave information to anyone. I don't know any Dr. Farhan guy. the guy that spoke for me at court writ down lies on paper, and I never gave any information on Abu Waleed in the airport or anything like that. It's all lies, bruv. And he just covered it all up, innit? You could tell, like, he was just acting really sly. It wasn't like his usual self.
This man sat with me 2.5 years ago on the day of Eid in a restaurant with the guy who was with him in that Jihadis Next Door video, the one who's praising Abu Damesa. He's a big chubby guy, Bengali looking guy, right? And I asked him, I said, these people who are celebrating Eid, what do you say about them? Are they Muslim or are they kuffar? There's 100 people in that restaurant. He said, they're all mushrikeen. There's no proof they ever entered Islam. I said, if someone walks in with a beard, okay, and he gives you salam, and he wearing the clothes of a Muslim, what do you say? He said, I believe that he's a mushrik, kafir. I can bring you a Sikh who's going to give you salam. Yeah, right. Where was I? I can't remember where I was. Let me try and play back my last audio to see where I was at. All right, yeah, this issue you asked him about. Someone asked him about the Nigerian. He said, yeah, I'll give him salam. This guy, he plays the game of tawriya, using one word or one term to mean two different things. Meaning I would reply to him in terms of I would give him the salam back. But does he actually mean the salam to recognize him as a Muslim? Because these gulat, they believe that the salam, you can reply back. But not the way that you're supposed to greet a mushrik, which is just to say wa alaikum. Okay, so this issue is complete nonsense, because he believes that the signs of Islam are not restricted to ibadah, or not limited to any form of ibadah or signs of a Muslim in terms of his appearance or even his speech. It must be the detailed matters of kufr bit taghut. And he slipped up on that when he was asked about everybody living inside Dar al-Kufr. He believes they're all kuffar. So do you see, now when you go to his mates, they all say the same thing, and now he's going to get hammered on this audio now.
So basically, he was lying yesterday when he said, yeah, he'll give salam and they're Muslim, innit? That's what he basically said. And in regards to what he said about the meeting on Eid, according to him, none of that happened. He was just in jail, and you done that refutation while he was in jail.
Then when you asked him about Sheikh Faisal, you know, all of his mates, they all believe that he's a mushrik, because Sheikh Faisal, one of his last talks that he done, and he's a conference, I done that conference with Sheikh Faisal. It was about the whole issue of the Gulat and Hazmis and all this, that and the other, right? According to him, this guy is an excuser of the mushrikeen. That's what they believe. So when you asked him, he was evasive. What did he say? He said he's in prison. He avoided the whole thing. What you're asking him is this man? Who is this man? Is he a man of haqq? Is he a man of bid'ah? What is he? Basically, that's what you were trying to get at. And he couldn't answer it. If you ask about a person, he'll automatically tell you, what do you believe about him? What does he stand for? Is he Sunni, Ahl Sunnah, Salafi, Talafi, Ikhwani, Sufi, Gufi? What is he? Oh, really? Okay. About this refutation, listen. Go on YouTube, yeah, and type in Abu Waleed versus Abu Halima, yeah? You're going to see a trailer, which one Ikhwani put up, when I put out the flyer. The flyer was there. The flyer is still available in terms of the screenshot. All right, yeah, this issue you asked him about, someone asked him about the Nigerian. He said, yeah, I'll give him salam. This guy, then when you asked him about Sheikh Faisal, you know, all of his mates, they all believe that he's a mushrik, because Sheikh Faisal, one of his last talks that he done, and he's a conference, I done that conference with Sheikh Faisal. It was about the whole issue of the Gulat and Hazmis and all this, that and the other, right? According to him, this guy is an excuser of the mushrikeen. That's what they believe. So when you asked him, he was evasive. What did he say? He said he's in prison. He avoided the whole thing. What you're asking him is this man? Who is this man? Is he a man of haqq? Is he a man of bid'ah? What is he? Basically, that's what you were trying to get at. And he couldn't answer it. If you ask about a person, he'll automatically tell you, what do you believe about him? What does he stand for? Is he Sunni, Ahl Sunnah, Salafi, Talafi, Ikhwani, Sufi, Gufi? What is he? Oh, really? Okay. About this refutation, listen. Go on YouTube, yeah, and type in Abu Waleed versus Abu Halima, yeah? You're going to see a trailer, which one Ikhwani put up, when I put out the flyer. The flyer was there. The flyer is still available in terms of the screenshot in that particular video, and you can see it's got the date and the time of when this debate is going to take place. And he knows very well, and everybody knows because he spoke about it on his own Telegram channel as well, that I offered him out on that debate. He was out. Tell him to get the date for when he went on the TPIM, and the date when that debate was offered out is at least 3 months distance. To completely deny that fact is like him to turn around 3 months down the line and say to you, I wasn't on Go Live Media last night. I was in prison at that time. That's what kind of a lie you're talking about. So he was offered out on that debate. That debate took place in West London, okay, in Hayes, and it was in an apartment. There's 4 brothers or 6 brothers that were witness to that, and he was not only that, Abu Bara knows about it, Anjum knows about it, okay, Abu Wala knows about it, Abu Saifullah knows about it, okay. I can tell you about all of the brothers from Australia that know about it. I can give you. Go and ask anybody on Facebook. Go and ask anyone on Twitter. When this debate happened, what did Abu Halima do? Was he in prison at that time or not? He was the one saying that I don't agree to this debate. I don't want to do this debate. He done everything he could to get out of it. So all this stuff that happened last night, I'm going to put this as part of a separate video, and I'm going to tear apart that entire thing from last night and refute that, as well as I've got his old videos, which were removed from YouTube, yeah, where I've got an archive of what I was supposed to do in that original part 2. So there's going to have to be a part 3 to this refutation, maybe even a part 4. So I don't want to make it all about him, but I've got enough dirt on this guy. Yeah, funny thing is, yeah, he says that when he was in Birmingham in that clip with me, in that video, that time he had kufr beliefs himself, and therefore he made tawbah from that, basically, yeah. So at that time when you had kufr beliefs, but you were hanging around all of the Anjum guys, yeah, how come I've got a screenshot of him? When I asked him, do you refer to OBM? He said, Aki, I don't refer to OBM at all. So how is that? Doesn't match up. You said you had kufr beliefs of following these guys, but on the text message you said something else. This guy is a habitual liar, just as the judge said about him. Alright, for me, you can call me kafir mushrik. For everybody else, there's no hesitation. You can make that within 2 minutes. But the people who are known so well around the world, yeah, when you're asked about the Syrian guys, yeah, you're so evasive and you can't make takfir upon them when you know very well what their beliefs are in regards to the Adir issue. Because their whole contention, the Gulat, is that these guys let off the Syrians when they interviewed them, when they asked them about the units of prayer. How come there was no takfir upon that? And how come there was no takfir upon Ahmed Musa? He said, I don't know who Ahmed Musa is. I don't know much about him. Really? You don't know anything about them, but you know about Ali Dawa. You know about everybody else, but you don't know nothing about these guys. Even when he was asked about Shamsi, you pushed the issue of Shamsi, and then he basically said, yeah, he's a Talafi, innit? What do you want me to say? No, we want to hear the takfir. Make it clear, dahir, apparent, what your beliefs are. Call him mushrik, kafir. He's the one who's got a video. I've got the video sitting on my Google Drive right now. I'll show you the screenshots of all of the videos I got of him. What's the video called? Enter Islam or Talafis. He believes they're kafir asli, not murtadeen. His understanding is the rulers are not murtadeen. They were never Muslim to begin with. MashaAllah. So all of the ulama like Sheikh Faisal and Sheikh Abu Hamza and all of the ulama, whenever they passed their fatwa to declare takfir upon them of ridda, that was completely wrong. Notice from this guy, you'll never hear somebody being declared as a murtad or as a mushrik. You know why? Because the asl of everybody was kufr to begin with.
It would have been good if you just came on yesterday and just smashed it, bro. I can tell, and he's thinking that he's just using us, innit, to keep the video down. Because I made the video go... Yeah, the reason for not talking about Ad-Dawla and Anwar al-Awlaki and Musa Jibril and Sheikh Faisal, obviously he's terrified, innit? He's scared if he even slips up once, he's gonna go. Like, I don't know what this guy's situation is, but like, there was something really shady about last night. The whole thing was shady.
Look, there was a brother on the thing. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's close with me. He was on there, all right? And he's been through he's just come off a TPIM. I asked him, I said, is there any issue with Abu Zadeen's video? He said there's absolutely no legal issue as far as he's aware of that being on there. However, Abu Wala, he spoke with me just a little while ago, and he said that, look, what he himself, Shakil, Abu Halima spoke about, that could cause some problems for himself. Yeah. This guy deliberately left his house to drive around and then got on the camera and wasn't even looking at the thing. Then he's just on an audio. You know, they say the eyes never lie. I don't like that saying, yeah? But this guy, you know, if you sit down with him face to face, you'll see he cannot lie to save his life, yeah? He starts stuttering, his voice starts being all over the place, he pauses, and that's what happened last night. Almost 90%, yeah, or 95% of everything he said was lies. And I'm going to tear into that. The only thing that he was truthful on is the money issue, yeah? He got 300,000 from his house, obviously, yeah? But he's told us different stories about this issue about him practicing. He said he was with HD from 2009. Then he said 2012 he's grown his beard, started practicing, or 2011, yeah? Then he told us he had a car showroom. Then he told us he was shot in white in northwest London. And he was a big-time dealer and selling bare keys. If I got this guy, why do you think this guy doesn't want to sit with me? He doesn't want anything on camera. Why don't you, if you got nothing to hide at all? The funny thing is, this guy's saying that, where am I hiding? Where is this Yasser Goldilocks hiding, basically? I'm not hiding. I'm waiting. I want you on camera. I'm desperate to get this guy along with me, and I want it all over the place. But my issue with him is not even, the snitching. I don't want to really talk about that too much, yeah? My issue is obviously his Aqidah, basically, and just deal with that issues, and where he's claiming that I make excuse of mushrikeen. But like I said, even this issue of Mufti of Taghut issue, I'll talk about that with you now if you want me to. I've already addressed that in the first video. I deliberately put that post up, and that's from 2.5 years ago, at the same time when I offered him out for the debate to catch him slipping, because I knew he was end up making takfir, and he did, and that's where I could get him on that issue, on the issue of tawakkuf and mutawakkif. No, it's not Abu Talha. I don't know Abu Talha, but obviously I know him from Speaker's Corner. I've seen him about. He's probably one of the most sensible guys with you. He seems reasonable. He's very level-headed. I'd love to meet that guy one day, Abu Talha. I like Somalians that are on a haq. The majority of them, 98% are all coconut. You probably know that. Here's another lie, yeah? On his thing, on his Instagram and Facebook, he basically says he didn't know that it was the Hakum until he got to the court. Last night he said a different story, that they all went there and then they done this thing, they done this appeal, and then obviously then he's made tawbah from it. There's a lot of tawbah that this guy's been doing. How many times has he become kafir and then retakes his shahada? This guy is upside down, man. People I know, they don't want to meet this guy, they don't want to speak to this guy. I know one or two guys, they just want to knock his lights out, to be honest. Yeah, they're not on no debating thing, and they ain't got the sabr for that. And I try to control them, to be honest, in this situation. Because they're like, look, you don't understand, he's just a snake. But his agenda now is basically anyone who says anything against him, if I can make him kafir first, then before he makes me kafir, then it's okay. Because you can't take a murtad's oath, can you? So that's the game he's playing. I'm surprised he didn't want to lay into Abu Izzadeen and call him a mushrik or kafir. That's why he wants that audio down. Because Abu Izzadeen is known. Everyone respects and loves Abu Izzadeen. Same thing with Abu Bara. So he can't say nothing against them. But eventually these guys are going to corner him, his own guys, and say, look, you got to make your takfir clear. Why didn't you make takfir on Dawla? So you see, look, from every single point that he made last night, I could speak about it for about at least 5 to 8 minutes each. And that's not to mention the videos I've got of him, the screenshots I've got of him. And this is completely missing these court issues and this intervention stuff. Imagine then the damage. And then minus out of the equation the remaining 8 hours odd that I've got left on the actual refutation in terms of from the Aqidah point of view. I've still got a lot to cover in that subject. In terms of my notes, what I used for that refutation, I think I've gone through 60% of it, maybe 65%, and there's still a lot remaining.
This is what I'm saying. He was playing it really smart yesterday, because I think he's trying to show the authorities what he said in court about him, being totally changed and de-radicalized. This is the image he's trying to portray, because that's what I was trying to do. I was mentioning all the shuyukh, I was mentioning, the kafir leaders, I was mentioning Dawla, I was mentioning all of these things. Taliban even, I think I mentioned. But yeah, at least he admitted that he makes takfir on Taliban. The question is, like, how prominent is Abu Halima out there? Does he really have a lot of followers? Because from what I can see, it's only the Jahil kids, like 17, 18-year-olds, 15-year-olds, teenagers that follow him everywhere. I can't really see this guy having a big following. Like, he's not on your level, Akhi, like, seriously.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I heard that bit. Yeah. Now, obviously, look, what's left now is he's itching to see what I'm going to say. And to me, it's like a movie, isn't it? You know, it doesn't matter what your, your haters or your friends basically beg of you, yeah? Release the movie quick. The premiere is there. It's the date. I can't bring it forward and I can't bring it backwards. I'm just chilling. And I'm just laughing at all of last night and thinking, oh, you just gave me a gold mine. You just gave me a gold mine I can hammer you with. Sure, I could come on Go Live tonight if I wanted to right now, yeah? And I could go through every single point because I got the energy for it and I could speak and completely deal with him. But obviously, like I said, that's not my style. I'd rather do it in the best format. You know, I've got a certain quality control and I need to kind of meet that. You know what I mean? We need to uphold that kind of value.
And I ended up putting that video on private again because if I keep it up, I want him to come on more and talk more. And if I keep it up, he's probably going to say, if you don't take the video down, I'm not coming on. So he's obviously just playing a dirty game of... So basically, May 5th is his janaza. Man's going to be all sore through Ramadan after that.
You know, this is the thing. What you just said, one brother said to me earlier on as well, who's close with me, and he was like, yeah, look, don't try and make him too much of a big issue. He's not that big. And I was like, yeah, you know what, you're right. And to be honest, he's not. It's just as you described, yeah? But the way I look at it, this is like table tennis for me. It's just a pastime. It's a hobby. I'm just killing time, to be honest. This is in between, me missing a couple of days at the gym. It really isn't a big deal, basically. I've got notes and studies sitting there on all of these different types of subjects. It just gives me a time to exercise. It's like a cardio session. If I can give, that first refutation, that first 6 hours I filmed in one night. We just had 10-minute break in between each session. So there's 6 sessions or 6.5 sessions maybe. In that first 12 hours, I've done half of that, the first 6 hours in one night. We started at about 9, we carried on till about 3. That's minus breaks. And then we went gym at 4 a.m.
Yeah, I see that, bro. All the videos are all high scale, all structured, all the... You know that video I made of Adnan Rashid? I think I literally destroyed Adnan Rashid, because it's going all around the internet, man. I feel a bit bad, but then I think, he's an Ikhwani, he's a lying scum anyway. Who cares? Let them deal with each other.
No, Aki, the May 5th one, that's not even that bad. That one's like only an hour and a bit. I haven't even gone through all of the stuff that I just told you. All of the stuff I said I need to still do that. That one's a minor one. That's just a little warm-up, you know what I mean, compared to what he done last night. The more this guy speaks and the more this guy posts, he's just giving me more and more stuff, basically, to talk about. But he's itching. He's trying to draw me out. He's like, why isn't this guy doing something? Why isn't this guy saying nothing? He wants an immediate reaction. He's rattling his head. He's trying to think, what can I do? What can I do? Are you going to sit there for now a whole month now, for the next 6 weeks, and you're going to just talk about me? People are going to get sick of it and say, look, why don't you just bloody flipping go and meet up with this guy, yeah, and just deal with him and have a public debate? No one, your followers ain't really going to buy into that. You're talking about one guy all the time. In the rap game, what do? They sit there, they make a diss track, yeah? And then the other guy, he just says, yeah, you just wait. You don't need to be posting about the person. He doesn't need to, if you're insecure, then yeah, you are going to keep making memes and posting and stuff about the person. Why are you being so obsessed for? It's like a man lost his wife and basically every day he has to write poetry. You get them Instagram accounts like that. People are talking about how they're heartbroken and stuff. But I'm thinking something different, like with this one that I'm going to do. It's just a matter of defining the time. If I can, I want to make this more like a documentary, more like a movie, and film it in different locations, outside in the public, maybe even have interviews with members of the public about rats and stuff like that, and really make it good. Like, I want to have like Abu Bakr Shatri with ayahs. I want to have landscape footage. I want to use a drone. I want to do a lot of stuff I want to get creative, man. That's just who I am, basically. I like doing these kind of things. It's fun for me.
Aki, man, what has this guy done to you that you want to do this much to him, bro? I swear, man, you're making me laugh. Like, you want to basically create like a whole 10 series documentary series on him and put him in the grave, Aki. you're gonna turn his beard white, Aki.
So what I'll probably do is basically, obviously, when I've done this thing, I'm going to make a trailer for it. And then see when to release it. Ideally, to be honest, if this whole stuff would have happened a couple of weeks later from now, then really I would have just liked to drop this on Eid. But sadly, it's going to end up being on the 1st of Ramadan. I'm trying to think, like, what can I do in between Ramadan then to try and keep this going? I suppose I just leave it to him and see how he dictates it. But obviously, going by last night, it doesn't really look like he wants much beef, if you want to call it that. But obviously the post suggests otherwise, you know what I'm saying? When you see him come online on the live and what he posts, it's two different things. No. You see what it is? Look, these are the topics I like, innit? Irja, Akida, Iman. This gives a chance for these type of subjects to be creative. You know, just talking about them on their own is a bit boring. You know, this is, I don't want to look at it from just a marketing perspective, but it's from a production value of taking these type of concepts and make it more interesting to watch. You know what I mean? When I was obviously growing up, it was difficult to find this kind of stuff, you know, as in video format, in audio format even. You have to read books and articles. And it gets a bit boring, isn't it? To have this kind of stuff out there, talking about these subjects, it's interesting. If we can get creative with it, it's fun. I don't know if you remember, there was a couple of Dawah Man videos which he done before, and the production is really good. He had like diagrams and really good stuff, coming up on the screen. I was really impressed by it. I know how much hard work goes into it. It's a lot of hard work that goes into that stuff, and he had a couple of guys working on that. That type of production, Islam deserves that. I believe Islam deserves the best in terms of production value. If we're representing the deen, we've got to have the best out there. So I give these guys credit where it's due. Even Dar Sunnah guys, yeah, they're putting out some quality stuff. Their production levels are good. The intros, everything, sound. I know the cameras they're using 4K Panasonic GH5s. It's good stuff going on. You know what? I could even talk to Imran ibn Mansour. I could even talk to Shamsi and get them involved in this as well. Say, look, I'm against the Khawarij now. So how about you jump on my thing and I'll promote you on Salafi Media. You want to be part of my movie? Get these guys involved as well, man. Bit of fun.
Yeah, but he was basically saying, like, you know, you were saying, well, what do you want me? He wants me to come out and clarify what am I his dog or something. That was what I was thinking when he was on the stream, and he was basically saying, well, it seems like in a post he's clarified himself. So if that's the case, I'll delete the video that I uploaded on him right now. Akhi, man, don't get all of these Indiques and these Ikhwanis and these Talafis and all these guys involved, man. They're clear enemy, Akhi.
No, I don't want that video offline. I'm not sitting here upset about that video. That video in itself has an explanation if you were to quiz me about it. I want him to confront me and bring those videos out and I'll explain exactly what I meant. Because I can pull out a couple of videos of mine which are unlisted right now, which talks about those exact same issues. Is there any excuse of ignorance? And categorically I say no. However, the only thing I say is someone can be given a false ta'wil on the qawaid in relation to duress, which in itself has difference of opinion, but in itself is not valid. But that is the false ta'wil they've been given in order to vote, and the lesser of the two evils. So based upon that, they voted. Now, are they kafir or not? That's subjective to two matters.
Yeah, actually, he's shook now, man. Like, basically, you can tell he's shook. He wants to drop it all because obviously he's got something big to hide, innit? Like.
And those two matters are, if you explain to them that you've been given a distortion of those principles, and therefore they then proceed to go ahead and then vote, they become mushrik kafir. Or if they're unaware of the distortion of those two particular principles. So when I said they've been given a false ta'wil, I never meant false ta'wil and shirk akbar. I meant false ta'wil on the issue of duress and on the issue of lesser of the two evils. That is why the person is voting, because he referred to somebody like Haytham al-Haddad. So that issue, I can completely destroy it. But if I get him face to face, and then he says, no, but there's no duress, I'm going to turn around and ask him on the spot, live, give me the 4 Imams and what they said about DRS. I want to test his waters and then show that, look, what you see on videos where he says, Allah said what? Allah said what? Trying to make it look like you don't know what Allah said, but he knows what Allah said, to expose him that this guy really doesn't have anything apart from rehearsing his videos for 12 hours a day and then going to a tunnel, which I'll talk to you about on the next one. That's a complete lie as well. He said, I go to the tunnels basically because it's got good lighting, yeah, and it protects me from the bad weather. He told me something completely different. He said that basically he's to make bara from the mosques and to show that we don't need them. And obviously he's grimy and the youth, they like it, you know, with a bit of graffiti at the back. So you go in the tunnel with someone's used condom, a Guinness can, and urine on the floor, and then you want to ask, what did Allah say? Come on, man. I think you need to retake your wudu and have ghusl when you leave. I remember he took us down to that tunnel once, and one other brother came with me. This man was reading Ayatul Kursi whilst he was down there. He started reading the whole of Surah Al-Baqarah because he was shook. He thought the jinn was going to attack him. Yeah, that's just to remind himself, you know. He has something called a dry run. He used to do a dry run. He used to sit in the car and talk to himself and then go over it and then go in the tunnel and then do it. What can he say, man? This whole thing is embarrassing, man. It's even embarrassing that you and me are talking about this. You know what I mean? But it's fun. It is fun, isn't it? You know what I mean? The weather's kind of murky and it's dead. So why not? Everything I'm saying to you, honestly, it was on my mind. Wallahi, it was on my mind. I'm going to speak to my guy here and I'm going to think, look, why don't we just go live tonight and I'll just deal with this guy and completely finish him. But then I'm like, you know, this is going to look much better on video, isn't it? Imagine the kind of fun I'm going to have on video. You know what I'm saying? I haven't had Red Bull in 2 years. I haven't had no kind of energy drinks. Imagine that. You know when I done that refutation, you know I had 6 scoops of pre-workout. 6 scoops of pre-workout. That's how I managed to speak for 6 hours, and then we knocked out a banging chess session as well.
Thinking, how are you having all of that energy? Like, Akhi, I still haven't finished watching that refutation. I'm on like an hour and a half at the moment. I'm splitting it out throughout the week to listen to it, bro.
Yeah, we had to cut that a bit short, you know, because these guys started falling asleep. They couldn't handle it. Obviously, they're not on any pre-workout. They're just having Diet Coke. And then, obviously, we were just short of time. So we covered that over about 2-3 weeks. We just met up once a week, over 2-3 weeks. And then, obviously, Ramadan then kicked in. So after that, you know, people's iman is low, or they're just busy with work. We never got to finish it. Otherwise, to be honest, I really would have liked to finish it. And that's the other thing as well, yeah, that he tries to say that, why didn't I release it, yeah, when he was about? That's because I was raided in 2016, September, and the feds took it, and I got it back 18 months later. That's why you see it come out a year ago. But there's another hour missing from that 12 hours. There was actually one more hour, which was on another hard drive, but they destroyed that hard drive, and they won't let me have that back, basically. They ruined it. They basically busted it. You know, these people, they give you things back and it's broken. They broke like a watch of mine as well. So otherwise, it would have been the last session. It was really, really good. It was getting really, really nice. If I do that one again now, it's not going to be the same. You know what I mean? My only concern right now is if I can get into the swing of talking. You know, when you haven't done something for a long time, you kind of lose your touch. You know, but I think when it starts, it'll be all right. So really, look, to be honest, before this guy came out, now recently, what was on my mind was I was going to drop a 24-hour video. That was my next idea. I really wanted to do a 24-hour video. I checked, that's the limit. You can upload a maximum of 24 hours on YouTube. And I was going to make a video and drop it maybe around August, and that would have been it. And every year, just do that, rather than have regular stuff, and then you get issues. So I would just drop some Aqidah video, 24-hour one. But obviously now, I'm not going to do that. Now I'm just going to do this thing, and that's it. I'm going to enjoy myself in the summer. My life is short. I've got family, I've got fun things to do. You know what I mean? Put one thing out, rattle everybody, and just let them go crazy for the next 12 months. And then I come back next summer and just drop another 24-hour video. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I agree with that as well. But at the same time, then that also gives a market and a scope for, like, for example, in this first refutation, it basically even deals with all of the posts that he's already put up. This issue about Mufti of Taghut being Taghut and Mutawakkif and those people who Sheikh Umar never made takfir on, yeah, or those who are still considered to be Muslim. I already spoke about this in there. I'm just surprised that none of his donkeys have found that, basically, yeah, and been able to address it. But I've already covered it. To say that, oh, he's not coming out and talking about it, it's already there. If you're going through it, find it and then let me know where it is so I can timestamp it. Then I can make a list of timestamps on the video saying where everything is. I spoke about voting. I spoke about DRS Ta'wil. I spoke about everything in there. Basically, look, that post about Mufti of Tawhut and those scholars, that was a honey trap. That was me setting this guy up. I put a whole bunch of posts up at that time when I offered him out for the debate so that him and his boys would make takfir on me for that, and then I would catch them slipping and then show them where exactly they've gone wrong.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, man, when you quoted that Omar Bakri thing. Because I'm pretty sure you make takfir on these guys as well anyway. So I was thinking you were just re-quoting, posting something that Omar Bakri said, and that was it. But I see what you're saying now. It was just a plan to get him.
Yeah, what I was trying to show is that, look, takfir can come and takfir can go. Because he made takfir on Bin Baz before, all right? Then he took it back, right? Because he believed that he repented. And the whole issue of the takfir in the first place is a matter of ijtihad, okay? So if two people differ on takfir of one particular individual, which could have a difference of opinion in regards to how they concluded the information in regards to him, doesn't mean that you use that to bash the other person. You can't force someone else to basically do the same as you. You know what that original question was about? Why was that? That question originally we asked, which scholars are known to make kufr bit-taghut and which ones are not? And the reason why we asked that is because we wanted him to tell us who are kafir and who are ahlul haq. So if you read the whole post, I don't know if he's put the whole post up of the other scholars who do make kufr bit-taghut, then it was for us to know which ulama are of haq. Then the ones that he mentioned are mutawakkif, which is written all next to their names, was for two reasons. Number one, he is not sure himself why they refrain from the takfir upon the king, or they themselves are refraining from takfir on the king and they're making tawakkuf based upon the fact that they could be doing it out of fear or lack of information. Obviously that's not the case, you know what I mean? But that's not the point. The point here is, why did someone refrain from takfir? So all that post was basically showing is why someone could make takfir and why someone could refrain from takfir. What did the question say? He said Sheikh Umar was asked about people who don't make kufr bit-taghut, and he said they are still Muslim. Alright, okay, that's just them. What about everybody else then? How many people do you know in the world who don't make takfir upon the king? For all of them? Alright, there you go then. So they were kuffar. How many scholars do you know who make takfir on Uthaymeen, Albani and Bin Baz all in one go? All of them. Boy, that's about everybody basically off the manhaj then, isn't it? Why do you think I want to meet this guy now? When I get this guy and I want him to bun me. I want him to kick it off with me and say, you done this, you said this, da, 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 da. I'm like, read the whole post. You explain to me what is the meaning of mutawakkif, you little rat. Oh, I don't know what that. No, I don't really care about that. No, that's it. Takfir upon the mushrikeen, and there's no excuse of ignorance. And you're making an excuse for shirk akbar. You are a donkey. Talk, but talk properly. Complete the whole thing. Oh, by the way, yeah, from what I've been told, yeah, you taking down that video didn't make no difference at all, yeah, because there's apparently bare people who have recorded it, downloaded it, and they've sent it to Facebook groups and stuff like that. I know there's one Facebook group with like 5,000 people in there, and that video's in there.
Whoa, that was quick work, Akhi. There was only like 450 hits on it or something. It wasn't even a lot of hits. Yeah, and it's already gone that far. Well, my plan is to put it back up again. I'm just trying to stall it just so Abu Halima doesn't run away, innit? So I want to keep him on the live stream, get him talking, keep him still saying stuff. So I'll probably put it back up again.
You know, just put it back up and then just push him to say that, look, at the end of the day, yeah, there's demand from the consumer that they want to hear it, isn't it? And obviously you did already say that you're going to meet Abu Zadeen. So, and you were happy to meet him. But really just push him on the issue about the debate with me, because I don't want no private discussion like that. And if you guys did set up a private discussion, I'm very frank and honest about this, I would come with an app on my phone and I would record it secretly and I would leak it. So, and this already happened before, because before when brother suggested that to me, that look, let's do a private thing, they went back and told him and he was like kind of agreeing to it. Then he said, what if this guy secretly records me? And then they asked me, they go, would you do that? I go, of course I would. Oh, another thing came to my mind, how this guy's lied. He said, I never faced a day of hardship in my life, yeah? How come he knows that I've been arrested for 2 counts of encouraging, and I was on bail for 6 months for that? How come whilst he was on his thing, how come he knows, and he even was apparently sad to hear that I got arrested in 2016, 3-4 months after he went on his thing? So, is he willing to talk about these things when we meet up face to face? I can corner and hammer this guy on every single point. I'll dissect all of his posts and finish him just on that, and I'll prove that he's a liar. If he, look, you got time, you've made 4 posts now. He's made 4 posts about me. How come you don't want to meet and then basically just shove it in my face? If I had this much dirt on someone, yeah, if I got bare dirt on someone like Abu Khatija, and I want to say to him, why are you hiding? I would go to him. I would say, I'm willing to come to you. Or let's meet. And when what? Now you're calling someone out saying you clarify. And then when I do say, yeah, I'll clarify, let's do it. Sorry, when I do say then yeah, let's clarify it, then the guy says no, I don't do debates. And he's very, very hesitant. If the guy is real about what he's posting and really on that, basically that I'm out to make takfir and demolish this guy, he would have come on the live stream last night and said, Kafir, Mushrik, Murtad, let me meet this guy. I'll establish the hujjah upon him. I want to expose him for the hypocrite that he is. I want to expose him for being gaddar and betrayer to the deen and adir and all this. Come on, why aren't you being the tunnel man now? Okay. You know why? Because that stuff is only for the tunnel. When it's face to face, have you ever seen any video of him actually dealing with anyone face to face? What did he admit to you last night? He lied out of his teeth and kept it a secret about that video in the car. He hasn't even told you about that other video where he gets confronted in the mosque by some Barelvi. That's a fake video as well. That's Abu Muttasim from up north in that. And you can see me walking in the background. So some Barelvi came to deal with him and you see me walking around with a blue shirt in the back. That was in Manchester. So this guy, man, you know, the problem is it's a lot of our own fault for promoting this guy. But now we've got to bring him down. It's fun. This is real fun. You really want to know what he's like face to face with his enemies when he meets them face to face? Look at that picture that he took with Dawah Man. That was forced upon Dawah Man. You know that? Dawah Man didn't even want to take that picture. This guy was begging Dawah Man for a picture. Then I think him or Dawah Man said to each other about something about, yeah, let's make a video together. And this is the guy who's the #1 enemy to Ahl Sunnah. And at that time, he was all pro-Dawla. So you're going to meet a guy who's going to release a video against your mandem, but you're taking a picture and having a selfie with him. All cheers and happy, cozy in the tea room. That was the tea room, basically, where they make the chai and, the dud patti. So we know this guy, what he's all about. You see in that video, yeah, on the Jihadis Next Door, where he gets confronted by some guy, or you see this guy, he's confronting some of the brothers, and this guy, he's saying, this is a front for ISIS, or something like that, yeah? This is a front for ISIS, blah, 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 blah. These people are recruiting for ISIS. That day, that guy got threatened by one brother, and he said, I'm going to knock your lights out. It almost kicked off into a fight, where the guy was about to get thrown into a glass. He got on the phone, he said, I'm calling feds. So we're there, and we're trying to run away from the situation, yeah? This guy, we're trying to look for him. He's ducked. He got in his car and he ran home. And these brothers have come down from north. We're looking for him. We're calling him 2 hours later. We thought maybe he's been arrested. We called him up and said, what happened? Maybe he got done over. Maybe the feds picked him up. He goes, no, Aki, I'm at home. Sir, I'm chilling. I'm fine. What are you guys doing? I can give you countless situations where we've been with this guy and basically we've seen what he's really about. But look, it's not even a big issue because these are all minor side issues. These don't need to be discussed publicly or be mentioned publicly or anything like that. Bottom line is, yeah, his Aqidah is one of the neo-Khawarij. And we can prove that. Just needs a bit of time.